Engines erupt in fury, unchained torque roaring as black smoke rolls across the sky. This isn't just a highlight reel, it's a warning. Diesel monsters have been unleashed, and every frame screams rebellion. One strike against a steel frame sends shockwaves through the crowd. The bumper takes the blow, proving how merciless raw power can be. Then comes a wild S13 with a JZ swap from Brood Motors, running a setup so ferocious it bends expectations. Mechanical madness like this makes you question what limits truly exist. The scene shifts to Lima, Ohio, where the 2012 four-wheel Jamboree roared with burnouts and chaos. A truck pushed itself too far, blowing its turbo and catching fire halfway through the contest. Smoke filled the arena, flames licked the steel, and yet the driver rolled away with first place. The destruction made the victory unforgettable, a reminder that glory often demands sacrifice. Just when you think you've seen it all, another creation storms in to prove you wrong. Builds like these aren't just machines, they're confessions of obsession, engineered insanity on wheels. And then, a moment that makes the crowd's jaw drop. A pickup truck glides over grass with such grace. It looks more like a dancer than a diesel beast. The builder named it Chain Smoker, and one look at the exhaust explains why. From the first weld to the last bolt, the truck oozes attitude, a reflection of the builder's soul.
Ow.
This isn't just a vehicle, it's a sworn commitment, a piece of life carved into steel and smoke. The spectacle doesn't stop there. Jet-powered exhibition vehicles take center stage, and none shine brighter than the Bob Mott's jet truck. Built purely for entertainment, it spits fire and thunder down the drag strip. The roar drowns thought, the flames light up the asphalt, and in under 7 seconds, the crowd witnesses what looks like the future colliding with raw destruction. Some moments are less spectacular, but just as telling. A simple test run, clutch being dialed in, engines revving in preparation. Then heat builds, smoke curls upward, and the frenzy returns. At the same time, precision takes its turn under the spotlight. An Audi R8 carves donuts in impossibly tight quarters, executing burnouts with a driver whose nerves are as steady as steel cables. Skill merges with risk in a breathtaking display of control. Not long after, a Jeep Cherokee charges into the wilderness, doing exactly what it was designed for. Cascading water, punishing terrain, and uneven rock prove no match. Its suspension, clearance, and torque management make it clear why this platform remains a king among off-roaders. The Jeep powers forward with confidence, a true statement of capability. In another corner, an Audi SQ7 clashes with a Jeep in a muscle versus engineering face-off. Two philosophies, one showdown, one inevitable winner. Mechanical failure has no mercy. A truck armed with a 440 strains against a suspension never meant to hold such wrath. Years of salt, snow, and heavy towing eat at the foundation until the U-bolts snap, surrendering under pressure. But for every failure, there's triumph like the Jeep Wrangler, unlimited tackling rocky rivers. Or a driver pulling off donuts so sharp they'd earn perfect style points if such scores existed. Moments of pure savagery. Rive when a Nissan Terrano rolls its front tires over a sedan as though it were climbing a curb. The crowd explodes in disbelief, eyes wide as if they'd just witnessed off-roading at its most unhinged. That same energy flows back in time to the legendary 2009 Greene County Tug at Truck Showdown in Ohio. Ford versus Dodge. Power against power. Steel against steel. The Ford pushed so hard it snapped both rear shock mounts, proof of the punishing force at play. Engines strain, shocks bend. Spectators are left with proof of how far competition can drive machines. Diesel enthusiasts call the 7.3 one of the greatest motors ever built. And when it growls, the crowd nods in agreement. River crossings. Challenge even the boldest machines, but one Range Rover defies failure. Midstream trouble nearly drowns the run, yet the driver remains calm, steady, and pulls off a flawless recovery. That's not defeat's domination. It's proof that sometimes the driver is tougher than the machine. Every build tells its own story. Josh DeGroff's 1997 Ranger, fitted with massive travel coilovers, bypass shocks, and engineering precision, embodies off-road artistry. Every leap, every bump becomes a chapter in the saga of a truck built not for show, but for performance. And still, even when weight tips the scale between Chevy and Ford, the results shock both drivers and spectators. Expectations shatter as the race begins, power tearing across the ground, forcing everyone to rethink assumptions. On the dyno, a Cummins 5.9 turbo build pushes itself too far. Pressure builds like a ticking time bomb until it detonates. The explosion is deafening, the force raw, the silence afterward chilling. Yet that's what draws people back again, and again, the edge between glory and destruction. Snow too deep? A Terramog with Unimog axles answers the challenge, rising above drifts that bury standard 4x4 south, gear reduction and axle clearance. These machines don't just drive, they perform. They fight, they dance, and sometimes they die in bursts of smoke and flame. And we watch, captivated, because somewhere in that chaos lies the human spirit,